What's up, guys? Welcome to round 16 here in Bronze at the Australian Grand Prix in Melbourne. Always a great track, Australia. Always the one I always feel is number one on the calendar. And it will be back that way for next season in F1, so I'm very much looking forward to that. I am joined by fellow Bronze League director Billy. And Billy, a full grid today in Bronze. It's absolutely amazing what 11 a.m. start does. Got all the drivers here on time, and we're actually starting 2 minutes early.
Yeah, it's nice to see. Got everybody in, like you said, nice and early. Should be an interesting race. We've got obviously every bronze driver in, so the grid should sort of reflect the championship positions. So we'll see who gets pole.
Yeah, if it's going off the championship positions, I think it's fair to say that Taylor and Thea Jack will have like a 10 grid place head start on the rest. He'll start a little bit further down, further down the main straight, but I digress. No, it should be quite interesting, Australia. It's a very, very difficult track, obviously. Not many people associate with a typical street circuit, but it is just that. It's very treacherous. The walls are very close, even on the straights. We've got 3 DRS zones as well in Australia. So it does promote overtaking despite it being very much a street circuit, but we are on board with Cryptic South, who is doing his first race here in Bronze, so wishing him good luck. Yeah, of course, a few drivers here just trying to get their foot in the door ahead of Season 9. Should be fairly competitive, and you never know. We always see it with new seasons, but the old face are returning, so I've got a feeling there's going to be a lot of interest coming in for Season 9, and looking forward to seeing what that Bronze grid does look like. Let's just have a look and see. Cryptic South will be taking us away on a flying lap. I'm not sure if you want to take us for a flying lap, but I don't think we've done that in a while. Were you taking us for a
I
lap?
don't think we have. Just
So I
trying to
think
find out where he is on the track. Bear with.
he's just coming into the final couple of corners now. He's just the Aston Martin.
Oh yes. I'm getting a lot of screen freezes, but I'll do my best. Obviously, out of the final, down towards turn one, first of the 3 DRS straights, like you mentioned earlier. Try and cut as much curve as you can. Don't too close to the outside. Down towards turn 3, which is the more technical section of the track. Hooks it up nicely. Does Cryptic Salt. Get out wide to cut back and get as good an exit as you can for what should be flat out. And down in towards sector 2. Obviously, we saw Russell crash there. And down to the new section of the track, which is just a long old straight. Be a good opportunity for overtaking. And we come into my favourite corner on the track. Quick left-hander into the second for the chicane, into the right-hander, and down towards the final few corners of the track. A long right-hander, which leads into another right-hander. You can carry a lot of speed through this corner, down into a heavy braking zone before you reach the final corner, which is very difficult to get right. Back end will be sliding out and up to the line, DRS open, and it's going to be a 118.2, sorry.
118.2, of course, for Cryptic Salt. So he does set the benchmark here, of course, in the first part of qualifying. We'll try and find a driver. Just coming towards the end of the lap, we've got quite a few drivers in that regard here. We'll stay on board with Heighton here. Of course, the AlphaTauri. Heighton, not someone who, doesn't get as much airtime as the other drivers. The way he's on track, he's super, super consistent in the AlphaTauri. So up towards the line, he comes to complete his first flying run here in qualifying at 18.3. A beat, he does an 18.5, so a couple attempts off. That time at Cryptic Salt. Nimble Cat also doing a 19.7. That's a good banker there from Nimble Cat. We know he's not the quickest driver in the world, but he is consistent. He does stay out of trouble, and that's exactly what you want from that type of driver. It's about Mad G in the final sector as well. We'll just see if we can find a driver a little bit further on. Podge comes up to the line and does a 119.2. You'll definitely want to improve on that. 7 tenths of Heighton, who's just in front. We've got Doug just coming through sector 3.
Guns P2 as well with a 118.3. Just a little bit off pole.
Nick slightly off. Mad J coming up to the line at 119.3. So he goes up to P6. Again, he'll definitely want to improve on that. We'll stay on board with Doug now. Coming to the final sector. As we can see, taking the final couple of corners, 13 and 14. Very nice. Get a little bit of a snap coming into 14. Just having to make a little bit of correction, which will cost him about a tenth and a half. But up towards the line comes Doug out, and let's see what he can do on his first flying lap. Can he get anywhere near his teammate? No, he can't. He does a 119.8. So losing a little bit of time in that final sector, I think, just cost him out. Via Jack has backed out of his lap as well. You might have encountered some traffic he wasn't on the best of spots. Nathan also backing out of his lap, may I add as well. We'll stay on board with Red Wildfire here. Red's not known as a good qualifier, Billy. However, her race pace is as consistent as any of them up there in bronze and even silver. We'll see any time to reserves in silver. She's right on there with the pace of them guys as well.
Yeah, definitely. Red, like you said, she isn't necessarily that great a qualifier, but in the race, yeah, her consistency definitely makes up for the lack of speed in the qualifying sessions.
Absolutely. And now she's just coming through, of course, turns. Let's find it on the map. Turn 12 now, and she's coming in towards 13 and 14. Just getting used to the track map here at Melbourne, of course. Slight change to the circuit compared to previous years. Of course, a few years back, I've still got the old layout in mind, so it's hard to remember the corners. But she's out of turn 14, up towards the line. Comes F7 Red Wildfire. Set her first lap here on qualifying. She goes P5 or 119 flat. It's going to be interesting to see what Taylor and Jack do. I think that's going to show us where the main pace is at. Don Dedge, may I add, has been absolutely phenomenal since his return in Saudi Arabia. He finished P2 there. He finished P4 in Qatar as well. He's been absolutely phenomenal. He was mid-pack in bronze before, obviously having a little break. But ever since he's come back, Don Dedge, he's been right on the pace with the front runners. And I think we're seeing the very best out of the driver. Sometimes you need that little break, but just to kind of take a breather, recompose yourself, and then obviously kind of, shake off those incidents that's happened previously and kind of almost draw a line under it and say, all right, we'll just focus on the now rather than the then.
Yeah, it definitely is. Like you say, it gives you a chance to recompose yourself, maybe get a bit more practice in outside of race sort of scenarios, maybe against the AI just to get a feel for the game again. But yeah, like you say, since he's come back in, he's really done well. He's been right up to speed.
Yes, and he's right there with Red as well, just a 10th off Red. That's a very good lap. And there's Fia Jackboy. There's the pace I was on about. At 1:17.8. That's an absolutely phenomenal lap there from Fia Jackboy. And from Cryptic Salt as well. I wasn't sure that benchmark would really stick towards the top, but it has done. So that's a very, very good banker there for Cryptic Salt on his debut. Taylor's still in the pace. You'll probably get away with one run, Taylor, to be honest. But we'll stay on board with us. Good morning, Doug, mate. How are you doing this morning? As he comes through, of course, your favourite corner on the track, the fast left-hander. I absolutely love that track as well. Back in Realistic, I think the second season of Realistic, I pulled off my favourite ever overtake through that corner. Very, very treacherous move, but when you get it right and you've got a driver alongside you who's willing to leave the space, you can make overtakes like that. But out of turn 13 comes Sus. He's a little bit narrow going into the corner, which is going to affect his exit. He has to come through 14, again missing the apex, drifting a little bit wide, but up towards the line comes Sus. He's not been on the game much. He's been away for most of the time, but he goes P6 or 118.7, so still a very respectable lap there from Sus. And right alongside his teammate as well, as Taylor's just on an out lap, so again, I think it'll be very interesting to see Taylor's pace around here compared to Jack. Them two have been having some really good back and forths in terms of the qualifying. Jack's got some really good qualifying pace. Unfortunately, in Qatar, he had the wheel issues. But yeah, I'll be interested to see what Taylor can do in that regard.
Yeah, definitely the start of the season, Taylor was so quick, and then obviously Jack's come back into it a little bit. But yeah, the gap between them is minimal.
Absolutely, it's two drivers right on the limit. But we do have Alvaro Chabas on a lap. I do apologise for missing Mr. Chabas. I usually don't do that. Usually he's one of the first drivers on my mind. But nope, Alvaro just coming through in towards Sector 2 now, as he now heads in towards turns 6, 7, and now into the sweeping left-hander of 8 as he goes in towards turns 9 and 10. Taking that flat out there, Alvaro, very easy to lose a car. You'll see a lot of cars probably in the race lose it at that corner. Very, very difficult, very easy to do. As Alvaro clips the grass there, not the glass, going through 11 and in towards turn 12. Again, almost easy flat through there as he comes in towards turn 13. Again, using all that track compared to Sus, and you see him gain the lap time from that as he comes out of sector 3 and up towards the line. Comes Alvaro Chabas for his first line lap here in qualifying, and he goes P2 with a 118 flat, and that's a phenomenal lap there. And now on board with F7R Taylor, Billy, and let's see what he can do and what kind of a benchmark he can set here for those top guys. Alvaro not very far off Jack either. We know Alvaro's a very quick driver. Just under 2 tenths off Fia Jack. That's a very respectable lap time from Alvaro. It'll be interesting to see how this really qualifying session does develop.
Taylor coming around the final few corners in sector 3. Looking like a good lap so far. a little bit wide at the final, the corner. See if he can keep it nice and straight coming out of the final corner, which he does up to the line. Only good enough for P9 for Taylor, so maybe a couple of mistakes in the first couple of sectors there.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, Taylor, 118.8. Again, it's around respectable, like mid pace of the bronze guys, from height and down. It's super close, yeah, as you would expect around Australia. It's a very short circuit, so that times are going to be, within about a couple of attempts of each other. Jay Mayad on his first flying run did a 118.3, so he's right up there with the faster guys as well. Nick has done well. Obviously, you mentioned the Ferrari driver having a great first. Oh my God, he did exactly what I mentioned, and went flying off at the fast right-hander. Lucky enough, he managed to catch it. He might struggle to improve on his lap though, Nick. He is still pushing on. He is still looking. Nope, he hasn't validated. He might have actually validated that corner when he went flying off the track. I think he's still pushed to try and get a benchmark here. Liam is 4 tenths up in Sector 2, so Liam could be going for pole here in Australia. He's really pushing on here as he comes in towards Sector 3. He's now barrering down in towards turn 11. Not quite clipping the grass, but using as much track as he dares as he comes through 11. A little bit on the curb as well. Might slow him down a little bit as he comes through 12 and in towards turn 13. A little snap again on the rear of that Red Bull. Not enjoying the traction zones here in Australia, but here he comes through the sweeping right-hand at turn 14 and up towards the line. Comes the Red Bull driver. I'm not sure why he's cutting across the track. That's actually going to cost him time. But he goes P2, well, 117.901, and I know he's trying to take the shortest run to the line, but he actually costing himself time by moving across, so, it was only 7,000 of a second. If he had stayed on the line, you might have actually done a pretty much identical time, but that's a phenomenal lap there from Liam.
Yeah, it's looking really close between the top 4.
Yep. I think Taylor will be up there as well once he gets a clean lap in. He's only had 1 run at the minute. And yeah, we were on board with that, Nick. Luckily enough, you do get another run at it with 5 minutes to go. Nick was 7 tenths up going into the fast right-hander. We did catch him making an absolutely brilliant save in that regard, so that is still something definitely to take away. Taylor, I think, is actually pushing Billy, so he might actually be going for a lap here, Taylor. He might have overfueled a little bit. No, he's 3 tenths down. You might be doing a little bit of practice here, Taylor. With him leading the championship by so much, I think he might be using this as a little bit of practice. Yeah, he might not have got much practice in. He's overfueled the car and he's just trying to get a little bit of a feel for it, I think. That's the only thing I can really think of here, because he is slightly
He's
down.
done a few laps on those tyres.
Yeah, he's just kind of getting the grips with the track. I would expect him to pump in a really fast time towards the end of it. We've got his teammate, though, Devil Rejected. He might be dragging him along. And no game sound. That isn't ideal. Let's have a look at that. I did think that was just for me, but apparently it's...
My dog's... Give me 2 secs.
No problem at all. I think we've got it back now. Devil Rejected comes over the line, P12, and I think his teammate gave him a little bit of a toe there. I can't tell if it was a bit of a toe or a bit of a block. I think it was a bit of a toe. I think Taylor did really well there to help his teammate over the line. We just didn't quite catch the full lap of it. Heighton's just done a lap. He might just be able to make it back to the pits in time for one more flying lap. Devil Rejected, I think, will struggle to do that, but you never know. Same with Taylor, actually. Thinking about these 2 Alpines have got a double stack here coming into the pits, and I've got a feeling one of them might really struggle to make it out in qualifying here. It's going to be super close for them. That might be the last car out on track. We've got Mad G also, who I think is on a lap, so we'll go on board with FFR Mad G, and he's shown some really good pace recently. He was really high up in Qatar. He got, I think it was P4 or P5 in Qatar. He was really, really quick around there, battling, I think, Dundedge for a lot of the race. Gareth, for the most part, will say it's not been his best season, probably one of his worst seasons in regards to results, but he's been consistent, and that's what he always is as a driver. Of course, my Aston Martin reserve driver, he did an absolutely amazing job in Baku, getting points on debut for the Aston Martin, so I'm absolutely chuffed a bit with that, and I hope he can take that form into this weekend as he comes through turn 11 and in towards turn 12. He's got a little bit of traffic there from the Ferrari ahead. I think that's with Nick, but I don't think it will hamper him too much as Nick is about to start his flying lap. But through the final couple of corners comes SFR Mad G, and up towards the line he comes in the number 47 car. Let's see what he can do here on his final flying run in qualifying. He goes P5, well, 118.2, so that's a good final flying lap there for Mad G. We've got a couple of drivers on out laps. We'll try and find the one closest. I think there's an Aston Martin. I think that might be Cryptic Salt. If I'm right, yes, it is. Good guess that. So we'll see what Cryptic can do. Of course, he went right to the top of the standards, the first drive out on track previously. Let's see what he can do on his second flying run and final flying run here in qualifying. We've got 2 minutes to go for the drivers to come back in, put a new set of boots on, and go one more time. That's great trail braking there from Cryptic Salt, going in through turns 1 and 2 as he now barrels in towards turn 3. Very tricky corner, this one. Very easy to go wide, wash wide, and kind of end up on the curb. He takes that very well. Now you want to go to the right-hand side to open up turn 4. Carry all the speed through there. Very easy to invalidate through there as well and pick up wardens in the race. Drivers will find that very quickly to come through 5 and 6. And now in towards turn 7. A little bit of a break in towards there. Down 2 gears. And then easy flat through, of course, 7 and 8. And now in towards turn 9 he comes. Let's see how he handles the fast left-hander, followed by the fast right. Very, very easy to get this wrong here for the Aston Martin. Let's see how he takes it. He's 2 temps down at the minute, but he's still pushing on. He still thinks he can find lap time right up to the limit of track limits as well as he goes through there and barrels down towards turn 11. Again, hugging the right to open up the left-hander. I mention that so much because it's so vitally important to open up the corners and carry that momentum through as he comes through turns 12 and through 13 and in towards turn 14 and up towards the line comes Cryptic Salt. Let's see what he can do here in qualifying. This will be his final go at it. He's out of ERS and he doesn't improve. He stays in P4. I think he did improve slightly. The game just didn't register it there. So he did improve slightly on that lap. We've got Nick Jur also on the lap in Sector 3. He's got a little bit of traffic for the Mercedes ahead. But up towards the line comes Nick Jur. Let's see what he can do on his final flying run. He was gaining so much in his first lap. And he has got a provisional pole for 117.762. Will that be enough? There's a lot of drivers still to improve, including F7 Red Wildfire, who's just started her flying lap. Judy in Sector 3 is down on his lap. Nimble Cats in Sector 1. Doug up towards the line does a 118.9. So Doug will be a little bit further down the field than he would have wanted. We've got Nathan out the final corner up towards the line. Comes the McLaren. Let's see what he can do. He's going to get a nice bout of slipstream as well. He goes P14 with a 118.8. So it's definitely not the lap he would have wanted. We've now got Red in Sector 2 really pushing on the Mercedes driver. Represent F7R, of course, the fantasy lead director. Let's see what she can do. Fiat Jack does a 117.593, so he beats Nick Jur. Oh, and Red goes wide, and that's the tracking validation. She's managed to keep the car going, though, but that was razor thin between going into the wall and session being over good. Don Dedge is invalidated as well. Sus is just in Sector 2 on his lap. We'll see where Alvaro Jabas is. Alvaro Jabas is half a second down on his lap. Liam's a little bit up as well as he comes through in towards Sector 2 now as well. The battle for pole is hotting up here. Of course, we cannot discount Taylor, who of course has shown to be so quick this season. Liam is 1/10 up there as he comes through turn 10. He's right on the limit with track limits yet again, Liam, as he comes in towards turn 11. Again, has all the margin right there on the right-hand side. Carries it right the way through as he now comes in towards 13 and 14. There's a stricken McLaren just staring him in the face, but it won't have cost him too much as he comes through 14 and up towards the line comes Liam in the Red Bull. Again, he chooses to drift right the way over to the right-hand side, and he does a 117.7, so he's still just behind Via Jack. Taylor has crossed the line, and he's only P11, a 118.5, and the championship leader is outside the top 10 here for the Australian Grand Prix, and that is it. Here in qualifying, I'm not sure if he's still with us, Billy. Might still be trying to stop the dog from barking, but wow, what a qualifying session that was here in Australia. But yeah, Jack needs to keep doing this. Of course, he needs to catch Taylor in the championship. I'll double check, Gareth. I thought you were in the points. I might have been wrong there, but I thought you were in the points. But he will just be going briefly, by the way, guys. So he will join us back during the race. He's just got a few issues to sort. But no, currently we have Taylor, who is 84 points clear from Fear Jack. So I don't think he has much to worry about too much. But of course, yep, it is Fear Jack on pole by 1/10 from Liam. Nick in P3 probably could have got a better lap. Of course, I think if he had set his earlier lap, but nonetheless, P3, second row of the grid is still a great result. Alvaro Chabas not improving on his final flying run. Remains a P4. Cryptic Salt, similar, on the third row alongside UFL F1 Viva in P6. Jay in P7, I think spun on his final flying run, but still set a very, very good banker for the Canadian driver. I think would have enjoyed the 1 hour extra line. Matt G in P8, Podge in P9, and Heighton rounds out the top 10. And in P11, with it all to do, is our championship leader. However, I'm not going to lie, I think he's still making it through quite well here, Taylor. And I am not in charge of the predictions, by the way, guys. So, yeah. I also put all my money on Reese the other week in fantasy, and he won it with a penalty. So I lost all my channel points. But I just want to put pressure on Reese, so, it's not the end of the world. It's just 40k channel points. Nothing major. It depends what mod, Turbo. It depends what mod is in the chat at the moment. And if it's an AFNE's race, you might click the wrong thing. So, possibly. We'll wait and see on that. But we are getting ready, of course. There will be no formation that with the issues. But let's wait and see as we get ready for the Australian Grand Prix here in Bronze, round 16 of the championship. We go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights for the Australian Grand Prix. It's lights out and away we go. That's a brilliant start for the Ferrari and Nick Jett, who's right behind. Of course, the pole setter Rafia Jackboy as they go down in towards turn 1, side by side, go the Red Bull and the Ferrari. I wish we've seen that in real life. Oh, the Esteban's around. That's Cryptic Salt on his debut. That's not the turn 1 he would have wanted. As a Baron from the top 3 get away cleanly. However, there's a little bit of carnage towards the back. As we can see, 3-4 wide there, going in towards turn 3. The Alfa Romeo shoved a little bit wide. I think that's F1 Viva. He's really struggling. Mad G's made his way through the pack as well. The Mercedes going side by side with Heighton as well. Alvaro dropping down multiple positions off the start. Not the start the Portuguese driver would have wanted here. But there's clouds in the air. Red said there's rain as well. So it'll be very interesting to see over the course of the race how that unfolds. We've got Heighton looking for a move on F1 Viva as well. Let's see if he goes for the move here. Going in towards turn 8. He's certainly looking punchy on the opening lap here, Heighton. Just getting cut off there by UFL F1 Viva. Very good defence there from him. We've got Don Dedge as well hunting down F7R Red Wildfire and a move for the front. We've got Liam right on the back of Fear Jackboy, not looking for the move just yet, going in towards turn 11, but certainly showing his intent. Early on, we've got Heighton making a move. We're getting a massive snap coming out of turn 10 as he again goes side by side with F1 Viva again being so cautious. They say spinning himself out there, Heighton. And now down the inside goes Alvaro Chabas. Alvaro on the soft tyres, just not getting the start he would have wanted, and I think he's been involved with a few collisions early on because of the soft compound tyre deficit. But Alvaro Chabas does go through there on Heighton, and he is up in towards P8. However, Heighton comes back at him in towards turn 1 and makes the move back. That's a brilliant move there. Taylor's up in position as well as he continues to hunt down a top 10 finish here after what is, by Taylor standards, a very poor qualifying. We've also got Jay right on the back of this lead train now, which is going right the way down. There's contact at the back, I think, involving Doug and a few others. And we can see that all going side by side. We also got Cryptic Salt after his lap 1 spin, trying to catch up to the pack as well. And here comes Liam. Here on lap 2, side by side he goes with Fear Jackboy in towards the fast left hand. There's not usually overtakes there, but he does manage to just stay behind. He's biding the time, he's waiting here for turn 11. Would he go for it here, down the inside or round the outside? No, he's just staying back for the moment, looking for the cutback coming out of 11. Jack has a little bit of a snap, but so does Liam as well. There's a lot of battling early on in this race. Let's have a look at the tyre compounds. Jay on the soft, the rest of the top 5 on the mediums. Mad G and UFO F1 Beaver on the hards. And Alvaro Chabas, as mentioned, on the soft compounded tyres. But as we can see, Alvaro Chabas going for a move on F1 Viva down in towards turn 1. Move done there for the Portuguese driver of Alvaro Chabas. He goes a little bit wide, but he keeps all the momentum going. And he does move up into P7, but he's 3 seconds off Mad G. He's going to have to really push on now to try and make up that deficit to the Williams driver. We also have Taylor also hunting down F1 Viva on the hard compound tyres. He's really struggling early on. But those tyres will come into his range as the race does go on. DRS has also enabled the slap, so they will get DRS, of course, down this straight. And here comes F7R Taylor going for a move on UFL F1 Viva, and that is move done there for Taylor. We'll go back to the front just to see if they're going for a move here. We've got Jay right on the back of Kieran and Liam. Side by side they go in towards turn 11. Round the outside. Oh, Jay's had contact with Fia Jack. Oh, he's half spun it. As Jay managed to catch it, he has, but he's lost multiple positions there, Jay. That's not what he would have wanted. Liam's also inherited the lead. And here comes Nick Jay looking for a move here on the front runners. If they go single file through the final corner, wow. Jay just getting his breaking point slightly wrong there, going through turn 10, but lucky enough, all get through in the end. And there's a yellow flag towards the back, and I think that's a Reese Jay having an incident there. As Nick manages to barge his way through on Kieran and Liam, and now he's going for the double pass, and he goes through for the lead this race. What a move by Nick. 2 cars coming out of turn 1. He'll be ultra happy with that. He gets a little bit of a snap coming out of 3, and then towards 4 he'll recompose himself and get ready for 5, 6 and 7, leading on to, of course, the back straight. However, he'll be the only driver in this straight without DRS, so he'll be in a very compromised position. Here, Nick, apology, Titan. I didn't realise you'd been kicked from the session, otherwise I would have sent you an invite, mate. But here comes Kieran and Liam. As you can see, Liam goes through with the DRS, and here comes Fia Jack Boy. Side by side they go. As Jack went off there. Jack he's spun. Oh my god, the championship contender. And now they go side by side between Liam and Nick. Action happening all over the place here. Both of them have DRS. Nick slots in behind. That is so unfortunate for Fia Jack, who I think might have had a little bit of a lag. Oh! And the Williams are colliding with the Haas. Both Haas's around. Here on lap 4. That's the last one the Haas team would have wanted. Mad G and Podge having contact. The 2 SFR lads having contact here on lap 4, which has sent Podge right the way down and out of the DRS train. We now go aboard Jay, who's still pushing on. There's been so many battles at the start of this race, so many position changes. Taylor now is up to P5, and this is more what you'd expect from Taylor. And here comes Podge on the cutback, coming out of 1 in towards turn 3. He just settles back in, Podge. He's just trying to regain that composure and gets dragged along by Taylor's brilliant race pace right onto the back of Mad G, he will hope. Fia Jack, despite that, is still in the top 10 here, despite spinning. So he is right on the back of Red Wildfire and trying to make a recovery drive here. And he would not put it past the Scotsman to do so. But he will go back on board the leaders as Liam makes a move into the fast right-hander on Nick Jurt. But here comes Nick coming back on Liam. He also has Mad J in the background as well. Orders a yellow flag, and I think I'm not quite sure who that's for. However, there's multiple position changes, and there's absolutely brilliant racing here. It's happening all over the shop. F1 Viva doing so well on those hard compound tyres, as is Mad G, to really stay with the lead train. That's going to benefit them so much towards the second stint. As we can see, Jade just starting to struggle on those soft compound tyres and dropping off from the leader. And here comes Fia Jack down the inside, going in towards turn 1. Space left brilliantly by F1 Viva. I think he thought he was going to get absolutely drilled going in towards there. He managed to avoid it. Here come the 2 Mercedes, of course, of Alvaro Chabas and Red Wildfire. Alvaro goes through. That's a great move by Alvaro. Red can't quite follow him through. And now we've got Nick right on the back of Liam again as they come in towards the second DRS zone of the lap, coming out of turn 8 and in towards turn 9. Here comes Nick Jurt. He's got the DRS. He's probably used a little bit of DRS as well. When he chooses to stick behind or when he chooses to make the move here, going in towards the fast right hand. Avoid seeing the instant for Fia Jack in this instance. Here they go side by side. Nick makes the move. He manages to break just later than the Red Bull. And he gets the move done, and he gets to the DRS on the second straight. That's a brilliant move by Nick, who moves back in towards turn one. Brilliant racing from them. We've got Jay just struggling to hang on to Mad G here, who in turn is struggling to hang on to Liam. However, he is on the hard tyres, Mad G, and could be on for potential victory in this race. And it would be, I think, Mad G's first victory on this game. Do not quote me on that, but I think it could be. As you can see, Fear Jack right behind Alvaro Chabas. Nothing quite doing there. We've got Taylor and Jay battling side by side as well. Jay getting a little bit of a snap coming out of turn 2. Those soft tyres really starting to give out here on lap 7, which of course they will do, especially on a track like Australia. They will start to go very quickly here. As the Haas goes down the inside, that's Podge looking for a move on Red Wildfire. Nothing quite doing there. Some brilliant battles over the seasons between Podge and Red. However, they are currently squabbling for it's P9 and P10 this race, and I can tell you now they will not be happy with that. As Sus gets a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting here. Pod still right on the back of Red, looking to follow her through, as is Don Dedge and Doug in the background as well. Here they come around the outside. Goes Don Dedge, and he's up into the top 10 as well. That's a great job there from Don Dedge to move his way up into the points. Round the outside of turn 8 goes Don Dedge, and he gets the move done as well. That's an absolutely brilliant double overtake. Red leaving the space as well. Brilliant racing from the pair of them. As a yellow flag, and that's a Podge. He's got no wing, and it's a safety car here on lap 7. And will we see the leaders coming to the pits here? Yes, we will. Mad J stays out on the hards. I think he had to concede that it was going to be a 2-stop and probably pit Mad J, but he does stay out. Let's see about the other cars in the train. Fear Jack also stays out here, which is very interesting. Liam's gone for the intermediates, which tells me his control's either broken or rain's coming. Oh, and Jack's got a drive-through for speeding under the safety car. That is such a rookie error to have for one of our championship contenders, one of the fastest drivers on the grid. He will have to serve a drive-through penalty. And the rain is coming down. You can see why Liam switched to the inters. We've got drivers switching between both compounds here. And I think Alvaro Chabas and Nick were the only ones to switch to the dry tyres here. And I think that's why Mad J stayed out. However, if he thought the rain was coming, he probably should have pitted for the intermediates. But now it's him and Jack on track behind the safety car, where the leader catches him. And yeah, Jack, probably not the race you would have wanted going into it. But yeah, it's all happening here in Australia, but going from dry conditions into intermediate here, the rain has come here on lap 8. And now I think we'll see most drivers come into the pits, and Taylor has been disconnected, so I'll make sure to drop Taylor an invite to make sure he can get back in. I think I've got him on the friends list. I'll just double check. Won't let me invite him for some reason. He might have got back in. I think he has. No, he hasn't. Okay. Just a second, Taylor. I'll try and get you back in. I tried to send you an invite before and it wouldn't let me. We'll go via the bronze chat. There you go, Taylor. You should have one now, mate. I don't want to upset you, Taylor, like I know you're listening, but your car's pitted for dries as well. I know it's pitted for another set of intermediates. Oh my god. That's such a shame. The game should not be allowed to pit you when you quit. Oh, that's so unfortunate. But we've got Mad G and Fear Jack staying out on the dries, as is Nick, as is Heighton, Alvaro Chabas, and Devil Rejected. So it's very interesting. I've got mixed strategies here. It is only spitting down at the minute. But yeah, who would have made the right call here? Let us know what you think in the chat. It doesn't look very wet at the moment, but we know how quickly, of course, that can change. And I think Udi's coming into the pits. Let's see what Udi chooses to do. He chooses to go for the intermediates as well. But yeah, Mad G leading the race. I would not have guessed that coming in, but It reminds me almost of Season 7. Let's see what the Williams driver can do, of course. In this final part of the race, of course, we've got 2/3 of the race still to go. It's been an action-packed Australian Grand Prix. Been a couple of incidents, but there's also been some absolutely brilliant racing throughout. If you have been involved in an incident, of course, make sure to clip it and, of course, send it in at the end of the race. And we will get that all looked at, of course. If you are new around here as well and want to be a part of the F7 Community Estimated Mod Discord, in the chat, we'll bring you in to our Discord server. All we need is free time trial times from Bahrain, Singapore, and Spain, and we can get you racing with us, hopefully, as soon as possible. We've currently got no vacant seats, however, there's always reserve spots available on a race day. Our main race days are Sunday, and yeah, we'll obviously just report that tail at the end of the race, and we'll get that looked at, mate. Obviously, don't try and, force the position back. Obviously, we'll just deal with it at the end. I know it's stressful to deal with. Doug has come into the pits again, and it's Doug going back onto the dries. No, he's gone back onto the inters. And that's very interesting here. So Doug sacrificing track position. That's a very confusing decision here from Doug, unless the tyres were overheating under safety car. That's the only thing I can really think of. But Doug will rejoin, of course, the back of the train, and he will have the freshest intermediate tyres in the field. But it seems like track position would be worth so much more in these conditions. But yeah, so interesting. The safety car is in this lab. Mixed strategies. Of course, the safety car's been out for so long now, as Nathan mentioned, that if the rain is going to come down gradually more, this has really helped the intermediate runners. But I think off the start, I think the drives are going to be so much quicker here. You can see the damp spots starting to form, but it's nowhere near intermediate conditions. So Mad J needs to get this race underway as soon as possible here. As soon as that safety car hits the pit lane, Mad J needs to be on his way and push as hard as he can to try and pull a gap to the intermediate runners. Safety car's just come around the final couple of corners. So, of course, he's just got to wait for that as well. And he has gone now, Mad J. And he does lead us away on lap 10 of 29 for the Australian Grand Prix. And it is a mix of compounds. Let's see Liam. He's right on the back of Fear Jackpot. I don't think he'll go for a move because of the offset of the tyres. But let's see if the dry tyre runners can pull a gap here on the inters. And it looks like coming out of turn 1, there's not much of a difference. Podge gets a 3-second tyre penalty for corner cut. We now got 3 wide as well in the background. There's the AlphaTauri trying to go around the outside. That's Heighton on J. Dries versus wets. And this is a super interesting part of this race where the dries and the inters are so something on. Jay's out! Jay's out of the race here on lap 11. That's another safety car, and that will bring us through, I think, to the full intermediate conditions here. Oh no, I think Jay got a massive snap then, and I'm not sure what's happening between Nimblecat and Cryptic Salt, but them two have been hitting each other a fair bit. So yeah, a little bit of a lower the action again, guys. I do apologise for this. But it's going to be interesting, though, to see what tyre compound the front two do want to go to, because I'm not even sure what the conditions are going to be. I'm not sure if it's rain to the end, if the rain's going to stop. I think either way they've got to pit either for dries or wets, depending on what they want to do. And Maggi just come in, and Fear Jack comes in very late then. And the top 6 all come in. And that includes Liam on the inters. Everyone coming into the pits, apart from Don Dedge. Don Dedge will take the lead this race, and I am so confused why some of the inters runners have come in. And this is going to be super interesting. Now, are some of the inters runners coming back onto the dries, or are they going on to fresh inters? Again, there's a mixed call. Most going for the inters, though. Nathan remaining out on the hards. This is, I'm going to say, one of the weirdest races I think I've had the pleasure of commentating on, because I am not sure who's made the right call here. The inters and the dry seem to be very, very close to each other in terms of delta time. Also, people like Liam, who was on the intermediate tyres as well, he's lost what would have been the lead of this race. I don't know why he didn't just stay out. I don't know why a lot of them didn't stay out who've just went on for fresh inters. The tyres weren't even a lap old. Very, very, very confused. A lot of different strategies going on, of course. But yeah, Don Dedge does lead the race, and according to Taylor, DRS is disabled. So that might be the call for the guys on the dry tyres, that it is definitely intermediate conditions. We'll wait and see, though. If it is the case, Heighton and Alvaro might have made an absolutely major mistake here by pitting onto the mediums in the last pit stop. Same with Devil Rejected and Poggio towards the back. Nathan, though, he's thinking about it. He doesn't come into the pits. Nathan is sticking on his hard tyres. Heighton also sticking on the mediums. The Aston Martin again of Doug into the pits. And is he coming on to fresh inters? No, Doug is going on to the hard, so Doug is taking a gamble as well, and it's super interesting here to see so many drivers taking so many different routes in terms of strategy. As we do have Nimblecat X in the pit lane as well. But yeah, some people are going to look like absolute geniuses in this scenario, and some people are going to look like absolute chumps. But we're going to have to stay to find out. Of course, lap 30 and 29, these laps ticking down in the safety car, only helping the long-running Inters runners of Don Dedge, Heighton, Reese J, and Taylor to just conserve their tyres. They probably will start to pit again. Those Inters do go up very quickly on this game, especially on a track that isn't optimal for the wets. So we'll wait and see on that as well. Safety car comes through turn 10 there. And the safety car is in this lap. So Don Dedge will get us underway here. It's going to be so interesting. That track does not look wet. And there's a lot of drivers on the intermediate tyres. We've got Nathan on the hards, who is the highest up of the dry runners. And this is going to be a very intriguing final two-thirds of this race here. Don Dedge, who's had two previous best results here in F7. Can he get his first race win today? He's in a prime position to do it, and he does go coming out the final corner. He doesn't get the best of runs, though, and he will be hunted down by Red Wildfire and Nathan going in towards turn 1 here. Fear Jackboy is into the pits as well. I'm not quite sure what's happened there for Jack. And the drive looks better, certainly turn 1, and here around the outside of Red Wildfire, and that is moved done there for Nathan. Little bit of contact, and Red's around. Oh no, that's so unfortunate. The two admins coming together here on that 14. Nathan goes through, Red spins around. Not the start they would have wanted. Nathan now hunting down Don Dedge. Those dry tyres look to be so much quicker, but how long are they going to last? Is, of course, through raining. We've got to take that into account. Of course, Liam picks up a 3-second time penalty as well. Heighton is carving his way through the field. The dry tyres are faster. Heighton is now curving his way through the field. Nathan's up into P1. He's got past Don Dead, going in towards 9 and through 10. That's a brilliant move there by Nathan to get that move done as soon as possible. Now he's got to put a gap. As we can see, all the drivers back. We've got Mad G going through on Taylor on the 2-lap old intermediate. She's on the fresh of the intermediate runners. Here comes Heighton in the AlphaTauri. He's also side by side with Richie James, again clipped him, very similar to the red incident as well. Got cars going 3 or 4 wide. You just got to remember, guys, it isn't a sprint race. You've got to be careful. As we can see, Heighton diving down the inside of this penultimate corner. Again, got to look for the switchback here on Taylor. If he wants to get that move done, Taylor with brilliant defence there to block the switchback and hold up Heighton there. That's brilliant defensive driving there from Taylor as he bows down in towards turn 1. Moves over to the outside. Heighton going round the outside here, and he gets the move done. That's a brilliant move from Heighton, but great defence there from Taylor to bide his time and try and stop that move from happening. And I think there's a car into the wall there as he has to Martin just brushing the wall as they go 3, 4, 5 wide, going in towards turn 3. So many cars bunched all together here. This is so intriguing to watch. I'm struggling to commentate on it. It's so hard to see what's happening. You see the Ferrari get the snap, and I think that was Nick Judge is struggling there. As we can see, Nathan checking out in front. 3.5 seconds clear. And now Heighton is right on the back of Mad G as well, looking to go for a move. Heighton is through it up into P3.
I'm back. Sorry about that. My dog was going crazy.
No problem at all, Billy. I'd love to tell you what's happening in this race, but I don't know what's happening in this race. I'm not sure if you can watch it all, but it's mixed conditions. Some drivers are on the dries, some are on the wets. And it's a little bit crazy right now. It's raining, but it's not a wet track, and yeah, it's absolute pandemonium. We've got Devil Rejected going for a move on Alvaro Chamasin up into P5 now, and Nathan, if the rain doesn't keep coming down the way it is, I think it's going between him and Heighton for the race win here. DRS is enabled on this lap. And we've got Taylor into the pits here on lap 16. That has to be for damage, surely.
So has it gone from wet to dry?
No, dry to wet, but it's just not got wet enough. It's kind of like Mexico and Silver, to describe it that way, where it was in between, but we've not quite got to that point where they're the same speed. The drive's just so much faster here. Alvaro, though, on the mediums, he was in the same position of height. He's just not making his way through as quickly through the field. Everyone's battling with one another here on the Inters, on a dry track. But we got some drivers who have just pitted for dry tyres, including Taylor. And as we can see, Devil Rejected, Mad G, and Alvaro all battling, going in towards turn 9 and 10. On the Alpine's got a brilliant run there on the AlphaTauri. That's of Don Dej, and here comes Devil Rejected on the dry tyres. Podge is out. Safety car. Safety car number 3 of this race on lap 16. And Nathan is coming into the pits. Heighton stays out. I think all the runners might come into the pits here, and I'm not going to lie, but I don't have a weather forecast with me, but I wouldn't know what way to go in this scenario. It's raining, but it's not getting wet enough in us. I can't imagine how confusing this for drivers.
I've come back and I'm absolutely baffled. I'm really confused as to what's happening, but
I am exactly the same, and I've been here the whole time. I do not know what's going on, what tyre everyone's on, what the weather forecast is going to be like. This is the weirdest race I've ever commentated on in my life, and
Devil Rejected gone to the Inters,
and yeah, Devil Rejected went off the dries onto the Inters, and that might be a brilliant strategy call. That might be the worst strategy call in this race. I just don't know anymore. I genuinely don't. I can't.
Nick's got no front wing. He's gone from the Inters to the mediums. And Fear Jack's last. Wow.
Fear Jacks had the race from hell, to put it nicely. He's had a drive through. He's been spun around a couple of times. It's not been the race Jack would have wanted, unfortunately. And some of it through no fault of his own, of course. But But yeah, this race, whoever wins this race is going to be pulling their hair out and not knowing how they've done it. Because generally, I can tell you, none of these drivers know if they've made the right call on this pit stop. Because we've got Mad J, who's went back onto the inters as well, may I add. So, yeah. It's very hard in these conditions, obviously, for standards, but I think the drivers are doing the best. And these races are the best, Mercs. I absolutely love these type of races. I love Mexico and Silver. I'm sure you were the same, Billy, where it was like, some drivers are going on dry, some are going on inters. It turned out actually staying out on drives was the right call, as we could see another driver coming to the pit. But no, these races are absolutely brilliant. It's just, for people like you and me trying to speak about it, it's very difficult because we don't.
A guessing game.
It's a guessing game. We could say, oh yeah, pitting to the drives is the right call, yeah, but it might be the worst call you could possibly make, and Dev Rejected might be the only person on this grid who's got the call right. Him and Cryptic Salt, but Cryptic Salt obviously being in P18, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for him to come from the field. But no, I'd love for someone to put money on this race and see who wins, because I don't know. I don't think the drivers know either. So
at this point, I'll just guess. I'm going to say Red. Red's going to win this race.
Red has never won a race in F7.
She is now. Watch.
This would be the race that Red wins. The 4-5 seasons she's had here, not won a race. She wins the most craziest race in Australia, the wet, dry, wet, not wet race. And you know, genuinely, I can't even argue with you. Even though she's P11, I can't argue because, yeah, this race has been absolutely bonkers. And you know, there's so many drivers with different paces all amongst each other. It's guaranteed fireworks.
We just need it to snow or something, just to...
Snow, hail, you know.
Yeah.
I think for not most of the drivers now, I think for Dev Rejected, you want the rain to get a little bit heavier, but from the looks of it, he's not going to get that wish. And I'm not going to lie, I've had to commentate over 3 safety car periods, and this has been pain. If you've done commentary before, you would know that feeling, but the safety cars in this lap, thank the Lord. So Heighton will bring us underway now, I think like the 9th leader of this race. So we'll see what Heighton can do now on the restart. As he now comes out the final corner, he's gone nice and early here, Heighton. I think he's caught Alvaro napping just a little bit here as they get underway. Here on lap 18, 11 laps to go here in Melbourne. And the drive's still definitely working a lot more than the inters. We've got Dev Rejected and Don Dedge going side by side. Going in towards turn 1, nothing quite doing there for them. Alvaro Chavas and Heighton on 7 lap all mediums. Doug and Nimblecat on the hard. Nathan coming through on the 2 lap all mediums up to P4. And Nathan's on the freshest dry compound tyres. It's going to be very interesting to see how quickly he can pick his way from this field. There's a yellow flag for the back, and oh my god, there's massive car. There's a Mercedes and a Ferrari off at turn 3. That's your pick, Red Wildfire, and Nick Joe.
Gone, yeah.
Yep, and do you know what? I'm not even going to complain about, because again, you just never know. You just never know. And yeah, we've got Alvaro Chavas and Heighton on the same length for tyres. We got Doug there on the hards, and then Nathan, of course, on the freshest of the dry compounds in P4. He's going to be wanting to watch here, Nathan. This could be the ideal time to get a race win. Rishi J and Taylor going side by side for the fast left-hander. They get through just about. And now Nimblecat lets Don Dedge go through on his fresher softs. And I'm not going to lie, I'm on the on-board for you there, Billy. It looks like it's getting... Oh my god, there's contact, and I think there's a Red Bull in the wall. That is Liam again in the wall. I think he's been in the wall a few times this race. I think a few drivers have, actually, to be honest. I don't think he's the only one in that regard. It's kind of a kamikaze race. Alvaro Chavas now is right on the back of Heighton, going in towards turn 1 for the lead of this race. He just goes back into the slipstream. He's closely followed though by Doug and Nathan. There's a yellow flag for the back, and I'm not even surprised by that at this stage.
I feel like Nathan's got the best chance of the win here.
He does, because he's got the freshest tyres. The 2 leaders come together. Then round the outside goes Alvaro Chavas on Heighton. It's going to turn to the inside here for turn 5. He's got to ride the curve. Oh, Heighton's off the track. Oh, my God. Here comes Alvaro Chabas. Round the outside he goes. Move done there for the Portuguese driver. He's going to get Paul Rumbelly. And here comes the Aston Martin, the AlphaTauri, and Nathan, of course.
Nathan just struggling to get through. He's just trying to find a gap.
Yep, it's not a very spacious track, Australia. He's up to P3 there, and he's got past Doug. And here they go, side by side, going in towards turn 10. Nathan gets a better run on Heighton. Here he comes in the Papaya McLaren. Looking around the outside, just settling in for P3 at the moment.
Dom Dedge got up on to the back of this train on those new softs as well.
Yeah, but that's interesting on the softs. They will go to the end, the softs. The softs are very durable around here, but they're not going to be in the best of conditions after a few laps, I'll say that much. But he is through on Doug. Doug is well off here, and Doug is really struggling out the final corner. He's dropping multiple positions here. That's not the start Doug would have wanted to lap 20. He was right there for the lead of this race. He's just dropping down the field.
Alvaro's flashing already, so under 10% ERS for Alvaro. Or is that because of the rain? No, it's not.
No, that's Alvaro using his battery to fight. But will it be worthwhile using his battery? Because he's starting to pull away a little bit, Billy. Of course, DRS will be enabled in the coming laps as well. So he's got to be mindful of that. He's going to have his nemesis and Nathan hunting him down as well. The two former teammates become rivals. It's happened a lot this season. Alvaro's had a poor run. Coming out of turn 8, though, Billy. He's getting hunted down here by Heighton and Nathan. DRS enabled. Round the outside goes Heighton. And he's got the move done on the Portuguese driver. Can Nathan follow suit here?
He's got a bit of a poor exit. He went right wide. He's not going to have quite the speed to get past.
Nope. There's a yellow flag again. I think that's for Nimble Cat. Nimble Cat's had a spin. But he's not the only one in this race. So it's absolutely nothing to be ashamed of. We've got Taylor right on the back of Doug as well, coming towards the final corner. Taylor showed some great pace on the back end of this race. Don't count him out of this fight for the win either.
Nathan's just had a massive slide.
Nathan drifted it around. Well. And here comes a battle for the lead. Alvaro Chabas round the outside again, going in towards turn 1. Move done there for Alvaro Chabas. Wide there goes Heighton as well. Might pick up a warning for that, but again, with the battery, but he's going to really struggle to pull away now, Alvaro.
Yeah, definitely. With the drivers behind having more battery, he is going to struggle to get that 1 second gap he needs.
Yeah, especially with the DRS, which is of course going to come into play for them after this corner, which is turn 7. They will all get the DRS in the rear wing open. And here comes Nathan though. He's 1/10 away from Heighton. He's really pushing on here, Nathan. Oh, 3 wide. Oh, he's done it though, Nathan. I thought he was going to go into the wall at one point, but he's got the move done on the 2 AlphaTauris of Don Dedge and Heighton. Don Dedge also getting past his teammate, of course. And here comes Nathan Alvaro Chabas. DRS and ERS. If he went a little bit wide there, it's probably going to compromise him. And yeah, he can't quite make the move going in towards turn 11. Got Taylor again, right on the back of Doug. And they've really closed back up the strain, those two. So we've currently got a 7-car fight for the win. Doug's about to recount well, but again, he's struggling out this final call. Oh my god, Taylor then he went flying into the wall. I don't know how he caught that, but he did. Apologies, Billy.
That's alright, Nathan. Just a 10th away from Alvaro. Alvaro goes wide off the back of turn 3 as well. And Nathan's down the inside. Just clipping the wheels. And Alvaro maintains P1.
Yeah, it's so hard going through turn 3. You've got to get exactly right with the car next, otherwise you risk spinning. You've seen it earlier with, of course, Nathan in red. And again, luckily enough, no spin this time around, but yep. And now the 2 AlphaTauris are now joined by an Aston Martin, an Alpine, and an Alfa Romeo. Here comes UFL F1 Beaver out of nowhere here. He could move up into P3 in this race. Liam retires in the pit. It sounds like he's had a very chaotic race from what the chat's saying. We'll have a look after the race. Nathan is into the lead and past Alvaro Chabas. And we now go 3 wide in the background, 4 wide in the background. Going in towards 11. Someone's got to yield surely. Yeah, Heighton took the right approach and is just backing out. But he does come on through unscathed in P7. And Thea Jack, after the hellish time he's had in this race, is right on the back of the train as well. These guys are battling so much, Billy. The whole grid is coming back into this, right the way down to P10.
And he's probably going to be loving this because at the moment he's in the best position he can be, obviously up in P1, with a bit of protection behind him as well.
Yep, he's got a bit of protection, but you'd really not want that protection to be within a second of him, to be honest. Suss is out this race in the pit lane as well. And, well, what a chaotic race. Nathan might be able to break the 1 second window here, Billy. He's got the fresher tyres, of course, on Alvaro. He's really pushing to try and do it. Alvaro having to use the DRS to stay with him. But this is about the range he'd want, Nathan, would you think? About 9/10, not close enough to where he can make an overtake, but enough where he's not going to get overtaken by the cars behind.
Yeah, for sure, and he's very close to 1 second gap. Is he going to get it? As Don Dedge is going around the outside of Alvaro here.
Yep, going towards turn 9. Round the outside goes Don Dedge. What a move there for the Englishman. He's up in the P2 again in this race, but he's also flashing. Everyone in this train's basically flashing. It's been absolutely brilliant. Brilliant race so far to watch. Nathan is getting a bigger and bigger gap as these guys battle. Here comes UFL F1 Beaver looking down the inside of Alvaro Chabas. Nothing quite doing there. Through turn 13, he gets forced off the track there a little bit by Alvaro, losing multiple positions, but most importantly, multiple... Oh, he's so much in the wall! That's Don Dedge! Oh no. Dear, that's so unfortunate for Don Dedge. So much battling going on between all those cars, and Nathan, it's 3 seconds clear. None of the drivers in this train has really thought, right lads, let's try and settle it down here and, try to save a bit of ERS, bit of slipstream, try and pull away the cars behind. They've all fought tooth and nail for each position since the safety car came in on lap 20. And it's finally come back to bite every single member of this train, apart from the leader, Nathan.
Yeah, Nathan, 3.5 seconds in front now. All he's got to do is keep it nice and calm, composed, and bring it home.
Yeah, but in the meantime, here goes F1 Viva making a move on Doug. That has moved on there for F1 Viva. Doesn't have any ERS, but he does have a lot fresher tyres than everyone else. Of course, fighting for this win as well. Of course, he's got much fresher tyres than Doug, Alvaro, Taylor. As Taylor makes a move on Doug as well, down the inside, going towards 11. Oh, and Doug's tapped him around. Oh, there's another crash. This race has been absolutely awful in terms of racing standards, to be honest. Very poor from some of the drivers, but it's treacherous conditions. These things do happen, but you've got to try and be very careful, guys, to try and make sure your comrades do finish the race. But we see Nick is right on the back of Doug as well. So we are watching to see Nick, Billy, but here he comes in towards turn 1, and that is move done for the Dutchman, and he is up into P4 in this race. And it's quite crazy what's happening here. But there is a massive gap now between Nick and F1 Viva and Alvaro Chabas. So we've got P2 and P3 in a little train of their own. We've then got everyone down right the way to P9 in the train, and then we've got Nathan, who's just now got to manage the last 3 laps to potentially take his first race win here in bronze. And here comes Fear Jack on Doug as well, down the inside, coming out of it in towards turn 9. That's a brilliant move there from the Scotsman to Fear Jack, and he is up into P5. Let me just check the penalty for Fear Jack. He's only got a 3 second, so we know what Fear Jack's pace is like, Billy. 3 seconds to that man is really not that much.
Yeah, definitely not. If he can make up a couple more positions, he'll definitely be happy with that comeback.
Absolutely. As I say, Heighton look for a move on Rishi J as well. Dundee still in the point despite that spin as well. Taylor looking around the outside of Heighton, nothing quite doing there. Going through 13 in towards turn 14. We've also got Fear Jack battling Nick. Fear Jack going through on the pit straight. And could it be followed by Doug here? Doug just settles in behind. We've also got Heighton right behind Reese as well. There's so many battles going on across the field. It's very hard to keep a track of. But yeah, Doug and Nick side by side through 3 again. Doug will have the inside, of course, for turn 4, muscles his way through on the Ferrari, who just goes off on the outside but gets a better traction. And he goes through side by side again to leave space for each other. That's brilliant racing between Doug and Nick as they go on through, but Doug won't get the DRS on the car in front. And I mentioned about those 3 seconds, Billy, for Fiat Jack. He's already took 2 seconds out of Doug now that he's passed him.
Yeah, he's absolutely flying. If you can make maybe a couple more positions, he'll be absolutely buzzing.
Yeah, but got Nick and Reese making a move here on Doug as well without the DRS. Doug trying to get around the outside, turn 11, and here comes Taylor on the switchback. Can he go for a move here, the championship leader? Could he make a double overtake going in towards turn 11? What a move there for Taylor. Oh, and he's just clipped by Doug again, the same corner. But he gets on through this time. Taylor up to P6. And we can see F1 Viva and Alvaro Chabas has kind of got the right idea here. They are not battling at all. They are just slipstreaming each other and trying to work their way through this race for a podium. The yellow flag at the back, that's for Richie J, who's in the pit lane almost. He's had to reverse back onto the track. And I think that one scene just describes this race in a nutshell. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, we have Dever rejected right on the back of Richie J as well for what will be P10 in this race. Sorry, that's Mad G and Dever rejected side by side going through turn 1. And that is move done there. But Dever rejected, and Mad G still squabbling side by side, will stay on board. Mad G stays ahead, going in towards Frey. Dever rejected, lunges it down the inside, a little bit of contact. Mad G manages to keep the car though, a little bit too optimistic of an overtake there for Dever rejected, but luckily enough, Mad G doesn't come off.
And Alvaro's down to P3.
Yep, Alvaro down to P3. The track's finally looking a little bit wetter now, Billy, after about 20 minutes of rain, but it's still not quite intermediate conditions here as they go on through. Will Alvaro Chabas go back for the move on F1 Viva? No, not quite yet. And they do have Fiat Jack fast approaching, but of course he does have that 3-second time penalty.
Yeah, I mean, judging how quick Fiat Jack is, though, I wouldn't put it past him to get past and make up a couple of seconds.
Yeah. Mad G and Dever Rejected are having one hell of a battle here for what is P11. You'd think it's for P1 the way they're battling, but no, it's for P11 on this race, and they really are pushing each other right to the limit here. And they are closing up to the back of Richie J. So you never know, that could be for a points playing position as we are into the final lap of this Australian Grand Prix. I've lost my voice. I'm not even surprised at this point. I've been talking so much and I've been absolutely bewildered by what's going on. Jack's in the train, of course, for P2, so we'll see if Jack can come back through. We got Taylor right in the back of Doug as well. There's yellow flags all over the place. Nathan's just got to do his best not to bottle because he will never hear the end of it from everyone at F7 if he does. But it'll be absolutely amazing if Nathan can get his first race win of the season. But here comes Fiat Jack. He doesn't have much ERS to work with, Billy, but he's right on the back of Alvaro Chabas here on the final lap of this race. It's actually Jack's the only one that's flashed at the minute. So that's very interesting to see. F1 Viva manages to keep P2 going through 10 and 11. But this is going to be the question now. And he's got a very good run. I think he's about to save his battery and put himself in the best position possible to take home this P2. But we will go on board with the race leader here, because this is something I was not expected to say today, as Nathan rounds the final couple of corners for the final time here in Australia. The F7R owner is going to win the race here in Melbourne. Nathan is your race winner here in round 16 of bronze. UFL F1 Viva comes on P2, Alvaro Chabas P3, Fiat Jack P4 after what was a chaotic race for him, Nick J P5, Doug P6, Taylor P7, Heighton P8, Don Dedge will come home in P9, and Richie J will just about hold on to P10 despite being in the pit lane just one lap ago, not for his own accord, of course. We've also got Red, Cryptic Soul, Nimblecat, and Yudi all coming through as well to finish this race, and just wow. I don't know. I don't know what to say.
I only saw part of that race, and wow, the part I did see was, yeah, like you said earlier, a bit chaotic. But yeah, it was the part I saw at least was good.
And yeah, it was an entertaining race for the Nitros. As a league director watching on, it wasn't the funnest.
Yeah.
But however, it was a very entertaining race. I hope everyone who's tuned in this morning have enjoyed Nathan's first ever race win here in Formula 7 racing. And he gets it here in the Bronze Division, here in Australia. And there's no more deserving race winner, to be honest. It was a chaotic one. We didn't know who was going to come out on top. We said Nathan had a very good chance on the fresher tyres, and he put those to work in that final stint. And we'll just get the race results here. And driver of the day, I think we'll go with Nathan from P16 to P1. I think that's not much of a debate, to be honest. I don't think we need to ask that question. But there was some absolutely amazing race, and there was some not so good race, and there was some absolutely amazing recovery drives as well. So obviously, if you were affected by any of the incidents, guys, just get a report, and obviously we'll look at it after the race. But what a brilliant race! If the top three do want to come in for a quick chat, you can. I don't think F1 Viva can. But Alvaro or Nathan, if you would like to, obviously feel free to come and jump in and have a quick interview. I'll just tag them in the Discord as well. Oh, you're there, by the way, but I know you're having a few technical issues.
I am here.
Okay, that's perfect. Right, because my voice is absolutely trashed. Apologies, guys, for the end of that race. I've really struggled towards the end of that. I'll let you take away the interviews. You can start with Nathan if you want, and if Alvaro does want to join, obviously we can give him a quick interview as well.
Perfect. Nathan, you there, mate? Take that as a no, not yet.
Hello?
Hello. Yeah, we
Can you hear me?
We can. Perfect.
Sorry, 1 second. I'm just trying to find my my headphones. The ones that I've just put in are not working.
That's all right.
Oh Jesus! Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, all good, mate.
All right, Sam. Yeah. How are we?
Right. Amazing. How was that, mate? Your first win of the season.
Oh, I can't believe it. My first ever race win, not of the season, ever. I've never
First
won a race
ever?
before.
Wow.
First ever race win in F7. And I just cannot believe it's on the track that I didn't expect it, especially from 16th on the grid.
Yeah, I saw you in the meeting room before, saying to Red obviously you was about 3.5 tenths behind her in time trial. Where did your pace come from, or was it just the chaos of the race that you found
know
yourself
what?
in the best place?
It was literally, Billy, it was just literally all down to the strategy. Everything just fell in my favour. Like, the pace was so bad. I didn't even set a lap until my very last set of tyres in qualifying because I just could not keep the car on track. I just kept sliding out. And then in the race, I was just trying to stay out of trouble. So I went down to P20 at one point because I was trying to stay out of the battles because everybody was lunging and diving down the inside. So I was like, right, I just need to get out of this and then just try and sort of stay in the slipstream of the drivers. But then when the rain came, and I thought that it just wasn't getting wet, and everybody's, as soon as the safety car came out, everybody jumped onto intermediates. But I was involved in a collision on lap 2, and I got wing damage, so I had to pit for fresh hards or lap for Summit at the start of the race anyway. So I was like 20 seconds behind the pack. So when everybody pitted for intermediates, I thought I'll just stay out on dries and take the chance, and hopefully it doesn't get too wet. And that's exactly what it did. Then everybody started pitting, and then when the last safety car came out, I thought I had a fresh set of mediums. I thought it's going to be like this all race. I know it is, and then just went onto the fresh mediums. A couple of the guys up front stayed out, and it was literally, it wasn't even down to pace, mate. I'm absolutely buzzing. It was literally just strategy, and everything just fell in my favour. It was just great.
Yeah, man, I can imagine. Obviously, I didn't see a lot of the race, but yeah, obviously your strategies worked out perfectly onto those medium tyres which you took to the end. You must have had some sort of pace because you kept Alvaro behind.
Yeah.
But yeah, really good race, mate. And obviously, like you said, your first race win in F7 as the owner. There's nobody that deserves it more than you. So congratulations, mate.
I really, really appreciate that, Billy. Thank you very much, and well done on comms to you and Jack. It was amazing to listen to.
Oh, thank you very much, mate. Really appreciate it. Alvaro says congrats as well. He can't join on his new PS5. He can't figure it out, bless him.
No worries.
He just wanted to say congratulations as well. Obviously, we know your long-standing experience as a team. I'm sure he's absolutely buzzing to see you get your first race win as well. Absolutely amazing to see, mate. Congratulations.
Thanks, Jack. I really, really appreciate that, mate. I'm absolutely buzzing. Cheers.
No worries, mate. Enjoy that, and try not to get drunk too early. Obviously you're racing silver. Try not to have too big of a celebration.
I'll keep the celebrations minimal. Nice one.
No worries, mate. But that is it here from probably the most chaotic race I've ever been a part of. Billy only witnessed half of it. I think it's bamboozled you as well. But but yeah, looking on, of course, Taylor is very close to win the championship. I think he's going to be 68 points clear of Alvaro now. I think Alvaro closes a little bit. But the next few rounds are going to be very, very interesting, of course, coming to the end of Season 8, moving in towards Season 9, in towards a new game. And yeah, massive thank you to everyone for tuning in this morning. It's much appreciated. It's amazing to get a 1 hour lie-in as well. So thank you very much to the Chinese Grand Prix for that one. Much appreciated.
Yeah.
And
we should do that more often.
and yeah, unfortunately, we're back at the usual time of 10 a.m. UK time next week. So yeah, if you are new, give us a follow. If you're interested in racing, Xbase Mod Discord in the Twitch chat will bring you into the server. We're racing again in an hour and 15 minutes. So if you haven't got enough of racing action, you can tune in then. I can't guarantee it'll be as chaotic, but it should still be an entertaining race. But thank you very much, everyone, and we'll see you again next week.
Cheers, everyone.